And a happy new year for our first 90 minutes live coverage of the new decade. It's Ware against Chertsey Town in the Isthmian League Division 1 South Central. The team at the top of the table against the team in 7th place. Paul Hall's team, of course, went to the top of the table this time last week with a 3-1 win away at FC Romania, and he makes just one change to that team with the fit again Andre McCollin back in the starting lineup. Josh Williams drops to the bench, so Ware will start with Callum Kishka in goal. They'll go with the back three of the big central defenders, Dan Rumans, Lewis Rose and Dave Kendall. The two wing backs, Pat Adamson on the left, Maxam Fraser on the right, Tom Bruno, Lee Rose and Harry Watkins in midfield, and Liam Hope and Andre McCollin up front. Substitutes, Gareth Madden, Albert Adu, William Stankwa, Ala Ushdi and Josh Williams. Just about get on the way here. It's bright, it's sunny, but it's still bitingly cold at Watson Park for Ware's first game of the new decade. Chertsey Town, the current FA Vase holders, of course, all in yellow. 7th place in the table. They've been amongst the goals this season, have Chertsey. 77 they've scored. Ware, of course, on 105, and there were 6 of them in Chertsey's last game, 3-3 at home to Bedfont. And amazingly, 4 of those goals came in the final 2 minutes of the match. So we're kicking from left to right, commentary position here, more or less bang on the halfway line as Liam Hope goes down under challenge from the left-back Brian Taylor. And Ware have an early free kick, which Tom Bruno will take right in front of us here. About 10 yards inside the half, being defended by Chertsey. Tell you about 4 team changes a minute for them, including the goalkeeper. The experienced Nicky Jupp, former Barnet keeper, is out, so Devon Gordon is in goal for the Curfews. Kick comes in from Tom Bruno and looking for Lewis Rose, but Chertsey sort that out fairly comfortably. Long high ball onto the head of Maxon Fraser, who returns it with a little bit of interest, but Taylor then finds Jake Baxter. He's worth watching. The boy with the blonde top knot, he's got 18 goals so far this season as Baxter, top scorer for Chertsey Town. They're coming forward here, the ball chipped out on that far side of the field. The right full-back Lewis Jackson will advance towards the Ware area. It goes around by Adamson, pulls the ball across and all the way across the box. Tom Bruno let it run at the far post because behind him here Jonathan Hippolyte. But Bruno did a decent job. Paul Halsey back in the technical area. He missed the game here against Waltham Abbey, of course. And already barking out his instructions to the Ware side. So 4 changes for Chertsey Town. Devon Gordon in goal. Quincy Rowe, Scott Day and Ethan Otakudo are the 4 men that come into the starting lineup, as opposed to the one that drew 3-3 against Bedfont this time last week. So as the ball breaks onto the halfway line and put on this near side, Taylor's ball back, but Scott Day thumps it out fairly aimlessly, and that goes for a throw in to Ware, which Lewis Rose will take. Ware going with that back 3, unlike last home game here against Waltham Abbey, home defeat of the season, of course, where they went with a more conventional back 2. So McCollin in a run, and McCollin pushes Matt Drake down, and McCollin looks around and says, what did I do? Well, I think it was fairly obvious, Andre, as Matt Drake, the big centre-half, went down, and Chertsey will have themselves a free kick on this near side of the field. 2 big central defenders, got to be said, Quincy Rowe, the captain, and Matt Drake. And it's going to be Quincy Rowe who is going to take the kick. Where's the number 6? Wasn't in the starting line-up last game. Called back. But kick comes right-footed downfield, lands deep inside the Ware half from the head of Lewis Rose. Over his head by Harry Watkins. McCollin chasing quickly. He's making ground up on Quincy Rowe, putting him under pressure. And in the end, the big defender does well, and the ball threads itself out to Brian Taylor on this near side. He's given it away. Tom Bruno sets Lee Rose going down the right-hand side. He's not offside. McCollin was pulled down, and Lee Rose's cross is headed away. And surprised the referee wasn't going to give a free kick there. McCollin was balked on the edge of the area and the referee let play go. Here's Harry Watkins for Ware. Good footwork, brings out Liam Hope. Didn't have anybody on the right, but finds Maxim Fraser. Fraser chips the ball past Taylor, claims it took a touch, and the referee will give a goal kick. So, well, Maxim Fraser was convinced that took a touch off of Brian Taylor, but referee having none of it, and points for a goal kick. Chertsey have won 4 on their travels. A bit of a mixed bag for them on their travels, to be honest. 1-4 drawn, 1 lost 4, 18 goals for and 16 against. They won at Marlow, Ashford Town, Middlesex, Hertford and Staines. Well, best away performance of the season for them at Staines, where they won 4-0. Hertford, of course, prominent in Ware's thoughts and in our thoughts, as they are every week. They're at Hamwell this afternoon. Hope to keep you in touch with what's going on there. Here's Baxter onto the halfway line, and the ball finds Kevin McLaren, the player manager. Long ball headed back by Dan Rumans as far as on that far side of the fields, and the ball had made its way forward, but in the end Lewis Rose will call on Callum Kitchker. In fact, he'll take it himself. Chops the ball to the halfway line. Here's McCollin in between the defenders. Andre McCollin, the goalkeeper's off his line, but Colin couldn't get enough on it to lob it over the top of him. Gordon had come a long way, and had McCollin got any eye on the ball, the goalkeeper could have been struggling. Rumans heads it back inside the Chertsey half, and the ball finding its way all the way back to Devon Gordon, the goalkeeper, very much the understudy to Nicky Jupp, who's got considerable experience, of course, and Ormond's remember seeing him make his league debut for Barnet away at Luton. Here's Harry Watkins coming forward for Ware. He's got Liam Hope on this near side. Fraser making his way up on the overlap. Maxim Fraser tries to pull the ball inside for Liam Hope. Comes off a Taylor. Ware take the throw quickly. Tom Bruno has it midway inside the Chertsey half. Long cross far side. Up by Lee Rhodes. Here's McCollin! And it's 1-0! Andre McCollin's first goal in a Ware shirt. It took ages to come down, and you wondered whether he was going to get contact. He did get contact. And the one change from last Saturday is the one change that puts Ware in front. 106th goal of the season for the Blues, a 20th different goal scorer in Andre McCollin. It's Ware 1, Chertsey down 0. Wow, perfectly worked move. Good cross. Tom Bruno zip ball in, headed by Lee Rose, and we know how dangerous Lee Rose can be in those kind of situations. And Andre McCollin, who's a renowned goal scorer at this level and above, opens his Ware account, and that's what he's been brought here to do. 7 minutes on the clock, and Ware 1 to the good. And doesn't matter what everybody else does this afternoon. Beat Chertsey Town here, and they'll be top of the table.
What about the push?
Wow.
Rubbish!
The ball goes out on this near side. We've got some defending to do. Did look like Liam Hope had been pushed. Referee, though, wasn't interested, ended up giving Chertsey a throw. Here's McLaren, beaten to it by McCollin, who really has started sharp, Andre McCollin.
Right, push up!
He was ill over Christmas and just about survived the game against Marlow, where he had to have some chocolate to pep him up at half-time. That's why he missed last week's game against FC Romania, but certainly looks up for it this afternoon. He's the man that scored the goal that separates the two teams, as Dave Kendall gets in the way. Statistics still not brilliant when Ware have scored the first goal. As comes in, good save by Callum Ketchka. Excellent save from Hippolyte, who'd come through.
Get it up this end. Let them argue.
First charge for the visitors.
Get it up.
Hippolyte save from Ketchka. The number 11 claiming he was fouled in the box, but referee not having any of that. Ware have only lost once when they've scored first this season. 1-7, drawn 2 of the 10 games when they've scored the opening goal. Another push in the back on Liam Hope by Quincy Rowe. Here's Hope, edge of the area, looking for Pat Adamson on the far side. Here's McCollin again. McCollin tries to turn it round, and in the end the ball bounced back off the number 10 and goes behind for a goal kick. Well, it's been a lively start, no doubt about that. 9 minutes gone. Ware 1, Chertsey Town 0. If you're joining us here on 90 Minutes Live with East Hearts Radio, following our local clubs in East Hearts. Interesting Wellington City, by the way. We'll have half-time and full-time reports from the Isabel Hospice, where my good mate Simon Alabandi is there. And get the thoughts of Nicky Ironton after the game, as we'll get the thoughts of Paul Halsey after this one. And as far as the Hertford are concerned, we probably won't get the comments from Ben Hurd, because we understand Ben's down with flu, so wish Ben a speedy recovery. But we'll be talking to somebody from Hertford after the game against Hamwell as well. All those interviews will be on 90 Minutes tomorrow night, as cross comes over from Taylor and Kitchka grabs it quite comfortably on the edge of his 6-yard box. Goalkeeper all in fluorescent green. A decent start by the home side, whose home record this year in the league, apart from that blip against Waltham Abbey, has been impressive. 1-6, and once again Hope's being wrestled about by Quincy Rowe. He's certainly a big fella, and Liam's feeling his full force at the moment. But it's the goalkeeper Devon Gordon who restarts. Lee Rose goes up, can't get that header in. Eberle heads it forward. Lewis Rose gets there first, but in the end it's Chertsey in possession. The ball all look to find Baxter, and in the end Maxim Fraser can just up and under it inside the area and headed out by Lewis Rose. Here's McLaren. McLaren on this near side finds Scott Day, and Dave Kendall sorts it out for Ware, and in the end Etakudu deflects it behind for a throw-in to Ware. A decent crowd in the house here at Watson Park. You'd guess for a team at the top of the league, the crowds will grow if the success story continues. Big game this time next week, of course. We'll be at Westfield, who are the form team. Just been awarded the Manager of the Month award, and it's going to be Westfield against Ware on 90 Minutes Live this time next Saturday. Big game at the top of the table, but Ware have got business to complete here. They lead 1-0 against Chertsey Town. McCollin goes up again impressively this time. Wasn't having any of it from Rowe then, but Maxim Fraser gets the ball on this side but can't keep it in, and Scott Day will take the throw. In fact, he'll leave it to Brian Taylor on this near side of the field. Taylor looking for Hippolyte down the line, couldn't find him. He does bring him back through. His control is lax. Ware will bring it back. Tom Bruno's ball loops over the top of Rowe but goes out of play for a throw in to Chertsey. Quincy Rowe, the captain, will leave it to Brian Taylor. One of the younger members of what's a pretty experienced team, you've got to be said, in terms of 23. Joined Chertsey surprisingly at the beginning of the season, having only played local football. His first go at football at step 4 for Brian Taylor. As Kendall heads it down to McLaren, the player manager, onto the head of Dan Rumans. Rumans' ball on the far side, and that's a good ball which searches out Murphy. Murphy's cross all the way across the box, and Fraser will let it run for a goal kick. Kevin McLaren, who took over the reins at Chertsey Town, very experienced player, 30 now, former Kingstonian, AFC Wimbledon and Hendon player. As Chertsey, of course, had the glory year last year at Wembley, where they beat Cray Mills 3-1 after extra time in the FA Vars final. But step up from the United Counties League from where they've come, but they've acclimatised well at this level. 7th in the table so far. Rowe goes up, beats Lee Rose to it. Lay off by Murphy on the far side, brings in Lewis Jackson. Jackson will go back to Route 1 for his goalkeeper Devon Gordon. 14 minutes gone. just joined us, welcome along. First 90 minutes live of 2020, and it started very nicely. So Ware lead Chertsey Town here by a goal to nil. Andre McCollin with his first goal for Ware after 7 minutes. Gordon's kick is on the head of Lee Rose, but you can only find Murphy on that far side. Murphy, though, not too sure what to do with it. Now turns to his left and he tries to search out Taylor on this side. Ware had lost him. He drove the ball across. Maxim Fraser did well to block it, and it goes out for a throw in, which Taylor, the left fullback, will take. Hasn't got too much moving for him at the moment. Baxter's making himself available. Goes over the top of him, and Taylor gets the return ball. Taylor against Fraser. Once again, Fraser does well. He's been impressive, the right back, on loan here from Royston. Very, very solid player, Maxim Fraser. The products of the Stevenage Academy. There's Taylor's ball on this near side. Well, here in Ibblewhite, we're listening at different radio stations there, as the ball goes out tamely for a goal kick to Ware, which Callum Kitchker will take. So Ware have got Westfield away. Of course, they've got some of the big teams in this division still to come down here. Westfield, Uxbridge, Hamwell, Tooting have all got to visit Watson Park in what's going to be a fairly frenetic end to the season. But we'll ask Paul Wolsey afterwards. Rather have points in the bag or games in hand? I think I know what his answer will be. There's another push in the back by Quincy Rowe and Leon Hope. Referee's missing them all day long as Harry Watkins goes up, gets an elbow in the face from McLaren, and Ware get themselves a free kick. So I think you can hear what the Ware fans around me think of the officiating at the moment. Not particularly impressed. But Ware have got themselves a free kick. Harry Watkins is still down. Referee standing over the player. It did look like he might have been going to produce a card for McLaren, but it doesn't look so. And in fact, he's going to give a drop ball here, which is an interesting decision. Ware players were absolutely convinced that was their free kick. The referee, for some inexplicable reason, is giving a drop ball here. I don't think he knows what he's sorting out here, but once again, bit of a problem. So there's a whole flurry of players around the referee. I'm sure he knows what he's doing, but nobody else is too sure at the moment. Scott Day's pointing towards the Ware goal. Tom Bruno's there, Lee Rose is there, and Ethana Takudo is there as well. And in the end, I think Scott Day's going to punt it back towards Callum Kitchker. So, and that's exactly what happens. So, net result of that is Harry Watkins is A-OK, which is the important thing from a Ware point of view, as Lewis Rose turns away from Ibblewhite. Long ball forward, looking for his brother Lee, who made his way in the area, but sorted out of sorts by Chertsey, but they give the ball away again. Dan Ruman's high up and under. Lee Rose is there with Drake's header almost caught the goalkeeper out. And one bounce, Gordon had to double back. Fairly sharpish there, the young goalkeeper. His centre half could have had him in real trouble. Gordon restarts onto the halfway line. Day's header finds Hippolyte, but Hippolyte's through ball doesn't come off, and Dan Rumans decides to take the ball away from Callum Kitchker and find Maxine Fraser. Liam Hope to Harry Watkins. Watkins forward. Here's McCollin again. McCollin brings it down on the edge of the area. McCollin for Harry Watkins, who made his way to the edge of the area, couldn't control it. Chertsey get it clear, and Tom Bruno's given the ball away to Murphy. Murphy's long ball forward, though, is fairly aimless, and Kitchker can come out and collect it and thump it deep inside the curfew's half. Chertsey with the throw. Scott Day. Big, firm set midfield player on this side to Taylor. Taylor back to his manager McLaren. McLaren on this near side for Hippolyte, and the ball goes out. Fairly symptomatic of what Chertsey have offered here in the opening 18 minutes of this one. Showed that they're a neat passing side, but none of that neat passing is coming off at the moment. So Lewis Rose will restart. Paul Halsey has a little word with Michael Bardle inside the technical area. Lewis Rose down the line looking for Lee Rose. It's headed out by Quincy Rowe. Back in by Lewis Rose. McLaren, that most definitely was handball. I think everybody in the ground saw that one apart from our referee. But the referee didn't give it. And Fraser. Lee Rose just has a little bit of a go at the linesman. How couldn't you see that? But he had a very valid point. Tom Bruno chips it forward. The goalkeeper's come a long way here. Oh, and he almost gives it away to Liam Hope. Not sure at all by the goalkeeper. Bounced off of Liam's heel and goes out for a throw-in, which Brian Taylor, the left back, will take. Taylor onto the halfway line. Maxim Fraser did well. He'd read that. Finds McCollin. McCollin's got no width on the left at the moment, so he's having to go towards the box, and in the end chips it. And one bounce in to goalkeeper Gordon's arms. Here's Drake. Plays it out to the right-hand side for Jackson. Closed down quickly by McCollin. He's everywhere at the moment. Drake gets it back. On this near side. Finds Taylor. Down the line, looking for Hippolyte. Hippolyte, taken out by Lewis Rose. That's, well, it'll be interesting if that's not a yellow card. It's Quincy Rose having a word with the referee, making the point. But I think Chertsey anyhow, this is a free kick, is it? Or Lewis Rose is having a talking to from the referee. It's got to be said, even from my biased perspective, it deserved the booking, but the referee doesn't give it. So I think that's a little bit of a sign of the way the officiating is going to be this afternoon at Watson. Because if that doesn't deserve a yellow, that could come back to bite this referee a little bit later on. But in the short term, Chertsey have got themselves a free kick, which the number 7 Sam Murphy will take. Ware have got Liam Hope on the halfway line, McCollin hovering outside the area, and Harry Watkins forming a one-man wall. Apart from that, everybody else is in the area, and it's well headed out by Dave Kendall. McCollin was being held by McLaren, but the referee didn't give it. And on that far side, Hippolyte against Dave Kendall. Hippolyte turns it back to McLaren. Long, a high ball into the area. Easy for Kitchker on the edge of his 6-yard box to collect that. Well, I've got some big fellas in this Chertsey side, and they're not shy of putting themselves about. At the moment, this referee is turning a fairly blind eye. Well, having said that, the worst tackle of the game was undoubtedly that one by Lewis Rose, which didn't get the yellow card, rather, that it deserved.
Keep it better than this.
Throw on the halfway line. I'll just a few yards inside the Ware half. Taylor's ball down the line, only onto the head of Lee Rose. His control then lets him down, but McLaren has it on the halfway line. Far side brings in Jackson. Jackson tries to go round Pat Adamson, but gets it all wrong, and the ball goes out fairly tamely for a throw-in. Chertsey haven't fared too well. They played the top 5 in this division. Had 5 games so far, drawn 3 and lost 2. Only scored 4 goals and conceded 11. So they found it tough going against the teams at the top of the table. Although the way the results went last Saturday, at one point they were in 4th place in the live table, until things changed fairly considerably in the second half of the games. Kishka from inside his 18-yard box onto the head of Andre McCollin, and this time McCollin has the free kick given against him for climbing against Drake, but you've got to have a little bit of certainly a little bit sorry for Andre McCollin there, because he's certainly got a light in the bag, but one time he goes over the top of a central defender, the referee gives a free kick. Here's McLaren back into his own half for Rowe, who's been the major offender in the push in the back stakes. As Rowe on the halfway line, long ball forward. Taylor had made the overlap. Fraser's got to get there and does. Puts the ball out for a throw in to the visitors. Brian Taylor will take it back. So I haven't seen much of him so far with the red boots, but to be respected for his 18 goals this season. And on this near side, Maxen Fraser slices the ball. That would have been a goal shot. He would have been picking it out of the bunker. Sliced it over the top of the Ware dugout. 20 minutes gone at Watson Park, where 1 goal to the good, but as we found a few times this season, could do with a little bit of insurance, but might get it here. Tom Bruno finds Pat Adamson, Harry Watkins, McCollin and Liam Hope further forward, but Adamson has to go backwards to Dan Rumans. Rumans threads it down the line nicely for Liam Hope. Lee Rose has made his way up into the area. Liam's cross isn't a good one though, and Drake manages to clear it fairly comfortably. Chertsey in possession on this near side with Taylor. Taylor looking to go around Lee Rose, but pulls the ball back and finds Quincy Rowe midway inside his own half. Finds his central defensive partner Matt Drake. Drake's got Jackson on the far side making an overlap. Excuse that for a long punt which lands with 1 bounce into the arms of Callum Kishka. Plenty of action with our local teams, of course. Essex Senior League gets back underway this afternoon. And Hartford are home to Hamwell, Welling Garden City home to Biggleswade. Welling Garden City had an absolutely brilliant win on New Year's Day away at Berkhamsted. Amongst the star players on that occasion, former Ware player Jordan Watson, of course, as Dave Kendall thumps the ball out for a throw-in to Chertsey on this near side. Christmas is over, Ware, says a man in front, as Baxter gets it on the edge of the area. Otakudu tries to thread it through, and Tom Bruno works it all out, and in the end the referee gives a free kick. So very precise, you get the feeling, with Chertsey. Do like to play a bit of football, but so I was saying earlier, at the moment anyway, that football's not coming off very well. Callum Kishka will restart from the goal away to our left-hand side. Kishka right-footed downfield. McCollin again, he's wrestling with Quincy Rowe. Here's Lee Rose going in with Taylor. McCollin goes in with McLaren. Here's Harry Watkins. Will he try the shot? Going across the edge of the area. Finds Maxim Fraser. Fraser's cross is a decent one, but Scott Day back there managed to head it out. Adamson brings in Dan Rumans. Rumans got Adamson on the overlap. Adamson will tee up the cross here. Finds Rumans on the edge of the area. Defender slipped to as McLaren, bouncing about like a pinball, and in the end it's the goalkeeper Gordon that comes out and grabs it at the feet of Andre McCollin. Jackson forward for Chertsey. Finds Sam Murphy on the halfway line. Murphy, who's got the ever-running Taylor, he's come in from left back. Certainly plenty of attacking intent about the number 3, who tries a shot, but bounces off the back of Dave Kendall, and Maxim Fraser can't control it on this near side, and Chertsey will have a throw in, which the number 8 Scott Day will leave to his left back Brian Taylor. Taylor's got Hippolyte in front of him. Baxter's making a run on the edge of the area now, but brings in Scott Day, and the ball goes out on this near side. Halsey thinking it was Ware's ball. The linesman says otherwise. Taylor will put it into the box. Kitchka will let it bounce once inside the 6-yard box, and then bowl out to Pat Adamson on that far side. Adamson will bring in Tom Bruno. Bruno looking for the long ball, but couldn't find a likely candidate, so turns back to Dan Rumans. Rumans on the left boot, chips it forward, but everybody had come back, and the ball lands harmlessly with Gordon. Drake for Quincy Rowe on this near side. Rowe puts it back into the area for his goalkeeper. 1-1 when these two teams met earlier in the season. Jordan Watson equalising for Ware in almost the last minute of that one. Very competitive match. As tight game as this one's proving, but Ware have got their noses in front thanks to Andre McCollin. Harry Watkins does very well to shrug off McLaren and bring in Dan Rumans. Rumans ball forward for McCollin. Here's Watkins again. He's got nothing down the right, but Maxim Fraser finally on the halfway line finds Tom Bruno. Bruno has to turn the ball all the way back to Lewis Rose though. Rose's ball for Harry Watkins, who stretches to get there and does well. Finds Adamson with Liam Hope. Hope sends Pat Adamson going down the left-hand side. Lee Rose has made his way into the box again. Cross goes in and it's headed out by Drake. Didn't beat the first man. Otherwise, Lee Rose would have been in there. Ball back to the goalkeeper, Gordon. Again, he's just taking a little bit of a time to clear the goalkeeper. He did. Finds Murphy. Murphy for Scott Day. Day looking for the runner Baxter on that far side, but Bruno had read it. And Bruno just clears the ball straight into the Chertsey half. 25 minutes gone on Watson Parks, 90 minutes live. Peter Hill with you. Simon Alamandi is at the Isabel Hospice Stadium. It'll be a half-time report on Welling Gardens City against Biggleswade from him coming up. And tomorrow evening, of course, the thoughts of Nicky Ironton, Paul Halsey, someone from Hertford. Hope it is Ben. I hope he recovers from the flu. And also best parts of commentary of this game as well as our guest will be Welling Gardens City Vice Chairman Dave Coates. Look forward to that. It's Chertsey coming forward. Hippolyte on the left-hand side. Hippolyte into the area. Good challenge by Lewis Rose, and he managed to keep it in as well. Chips it forward for McCollin. McCollin's header, though, and he finds McLaren. Here's Quincy Rose. McCollin does well, though. Lee Rose down the line, looking for Liam Hope. Liam Hope against Drake, but Drake turns it back to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper this time is a bit clearer in getting the ball out on that far side to Jackson. Rowe finds Taylor. Taylor forward for Hippolyte. Hippolyte just rolls the ball on this near side. Taylor managed to keep it in. It's Day. Quincy Rowe under challenge from Harry Watkins. Can't control the ball. And it goes out for a throw-in to Ware. Rose walking away with the ball here and pointing on the far side. But he is pointing, to be fair, that Andre McCollin has gone down in a heap. And it's Quincy Rose and the linesman. Didn't you see him go down? This would be a shame for Ware. He's made a really positive start to the game as Andre McCollin. But he's going to need some attention on that side. Scored the opening goal 7 minutes in. Tom Bruno and Lee Rose involved in the build-up. And McCollin Finchley from inside the 6-yard box. Where's 106th goal of the season. It'll be interesting to look and see also if they become the top scorers in the first 4 levels of the pyramid, because 2 teams, Bromsgrove Rovers and Tiverton Town, are vying with them for that. Thumbs up from McCollin, who's lying down, so I think he's going to be okay. But as a precaution, Albert Adu is warming up. He would perhaps be the natural replacement, although Josh Williams started in that position this time last week against FC Romania. So 28 minutes gone. Liam Hope's gone down as well at the moment, actually. So both Ware strikers receiving a little bit of attention. We got one of these unintentional timeouts with the Chertsey players getting instructions from the bench down here. Looks like a thigh problem with McCollin. And Liam Hope possibly also back of his calf. So Paul Halsey could do without losing either of these two. McCollin gave the thumbs up, which seems to suggest he knows he's going to be okay. And McCollin is back on his feet, and Liam Hope is as well, which I'm assuming in terms of the rules will mean Ware will be down to 9 men for a moment, because those two are going to have to go off now, having both had treatment. But McCollin is trotting to the sideline, which would seem to suggest that he is going to be okay to continue, and Liam doing the same. So it's a little bit of a timeout as far as we're concerned. They made a brighter start, but do have the feeling that Chertsey were coming back into the game just a little bit. So in fact, Liam Hope stayed on the pitch. So once again, the referee leaving a little bit to be desired. I don't think Chertsey have noticed that either. So McCollin is off the pitch and will be coming back on. But McCollin's still gone down again. He's sitting down on the sideline. Paul Halsey's having a word with him. Lewis Rose is going to take the throw in, and Ware are going to be down to 10 men for a bit. In fact, McCollin's taken one of his boots off. So Scott Day controls the ball on this near side, but then puts it out for a throw in. I'm sure Ware will take their time in an attempt to get Andre McCollin back onto the pitch as Lewis Rose restarts on to ahead of Scott Day. Murphy's gets his pocket picked by Harry Watkins, chipped forward by Maxime Fraser, but it fades out of play. McCollin's got both his boots on now and is looking to come back on. So Ware will be restored to full complement as Andre McCollin jogs back onto the pitch. And we've had half an hour of the action here, our first action of 2020 on 90 Minutes Live at Wadson Park, with the score Ware 1, Chertsey down 0. A little bit of aerial volleyball going on, but Pat Adamson does well and finds Harry Watkins chipped forward by Tom Bruno, but Liam Hope had come short, and the ball harmlessly enough finds its way back to Devon Gordon in the Chertsey goal. He picks out Lewis Jackson. Jackson delays his progress and then chips it forward, but Kendall's read that one for Ware, and here's Harry Watkins inside the centre circle. Didn't have much on, but does well to find Tom Bruno. Maxime Fraser on this near side wins a throw-in for Ware. I think the one thing Chertsey have done well, particularly down this side, is stop Maxime Fraser getting forward too much. And that's been down to Hippolyte and the fact that the right back, Brian Taylor, or the left back rather, Brian Taylor, is pretty in advanced position. But that also means there's space behind him that Ware could exploit. Here is Taylor. Ball onto the halfway line. Kendall heads it away from Baxter. Here's Maxime Fraser. Puts it all the way back to Route 1 for Callum Kishka. Kishka's long kick forward onto the head of the unchallenged Scott Doe. Gives it away to Harry Watkins, and Watkins' ball is pretty aimless as well. You could see what he was trying to do, but didn't manage it at all. And ball goes out for a goal kick to Chertsey down. Failed to score on 4 occasions this season, Chertsey, but have been in the goals away from home as well. 8 at Northwood and 7 at FC Romania. And Ware continue their record with Andre McCollin's goal, and the fact they've only failed to score in the league once this season. That was away at Amwell Town. As Ware have got a throw in here, midway inside the Chertsey down half. McCollin offers himself, but here's Lee Rose on the edge of the area, chests it down. McCollin couldn't get there, and Scott Day ends up putting it out of play for a throw in to Ballhall's team. Pat Adamson look to take the long throw. He's got Lee Rose on the edge of the 6-yard box. It's been a fairly familiar ploy for Ware. Rose goes up, can't get it though. Drake gets there first, and in the end there's a linesman's flag gone up for offside against Pat Adamson. It certainly wasn't there, and well, I'm not quite sure what happened there, because Murphy took the free kick from nowhere near where the player was when he was judged to be offside, and in the end player picked it up and stopped it going out. So not quite sure what happened there, but Chertsey have got themselves a throw in. I'm afraid it's been symptomatic of the officials. I don't think officials have made a particularly prominent start to the new decade. Certainly been some interesting decisions there in the opening half hour or so. Here's Baxter. Look for Murphy, but finds Hippolyte. Fraser in very quickly. It's Harry Watkins inside the centre circle. Finds Liam Hope, left-hand side of the field. Tom Bruno's come up. Maxim Fraser's up there as well. Crossed over the lot. And Taylor should get it away, and does, as far as Sam Murphy. Taylor will get it back. But Lewis Rose off his thigh more than anything else. And Scott Day will pounce upon it. Long ball forwards, and Etakudu had made his way to the left-hand side of the box, but he was offside. Flag up on that far side. So well, and this time the referee does decide what he wants the free kick taken. It's not the case a couple of moments ago. 10 minutes to go before half time at Watson Park. A little shake of the head from Wolsey. Kishka's kick on this near side. Lee Rose doesn't get it, but McCollin will get there. He's shoved to the ground by Quincy Rowe. And the referee gives nothing. Well, McCollin having a word with the linesman saying you were right in front of it. Surely you saw that. But, a man rather unkindly asked the lino to take up tennis. He won't get in the Australian Open on that form, I'll tell you. But here's Taylor. Finds Scott Day. Harry Watkins coming back and does well. He's performed well as Harry Watkins so far for Ware, but Chertsey get the ball back with Taylor. Taylor's ball inside the box. Rumans has got defending to do. Chess it back to Kishka with the fans behind the goal shouting handball, but was never going to be. Long ball forward is Quincy Rowe against McCollin, but Rowe does the job well this time, finds McLaren. McLaren brings in Jackson, the right back. Murphy, who's had a bit of a roaming role since being out on that right side for most of the opening part of the game. Here's Jackson. Scott Day. Day. And forward. Still Day. Finds Murphy. Murphy on that far side brings in Jackson. Jackson's cross all the way along the ground. And Callum Kitchker will grab it to his chest fairly comfortably. Kishka dusts himself down. Has a look and see what's open. I think it's one problem we have had in this first half. It's not been to get their two attacking wing backs forward. Neither Fraser down this side or only briefly but Adamson on the other side have really caused Chertsey any problems. So Etakudu picks the ball up. Scott Day's ball has Hippolyte in interesting position down the left-hand side. Maxime Fraser is the fullback. Ball goes all the way across, hits Baxter, and in the end it's Dave Kendall who manages to wrestle it away, but only as far as Hippolyte, whose shot is blocked by Lee Rose. Ware forward here, 2 against 3, and Liam Oak has been absolutely poleaxed by Drake there. And the referee once again gives the Ware forwards absolutely no protection whatsoever. Well, there could be little doubt about that. That Matt Drake absolutely wipes out Liam Hope, and the referee and his linesman not given a lot. Here's Jackson, but his ball given away to Lewis Rose. Lewis Rose again doesn't have too much on and to dump it into the Chertsey half. Well, Gordon will come out and find Drake. Drake forward for Murphy. Murphy back for the big central defender with the orange boots. He brings out Taylor on this near side for Quincy Rowe. Quincy Rowe's long ball forward is going to drift harmlessly out of play for a goal kick to the home side. Sorry, the game so far. Well, we're in front 7 minutes in. Tom Bruno's ball headed down by Lee Rose and Andre McCollin turning in his first goal in a Ware shirt. After that, to be honest, apart from Callum Kitchler's one-on-one save with Jonathan Hippolyte, we've had very little in front of goal in this first half. Lee Rose goes up with Taylor. It's going to be a Ware ball. Taylor came worst off there and took a bad landing on clutching his side, and he's going to need some treatment. Can have a few minutes added on at the end of this first half. Andre McCollin, rather worryingly, is down again. And interesting. I don't think he's going to last to 90 minutes. Interesting when he comes out after half time. We're scorer at the moment. But immediate concern is with the left fullback for Chertsey Town, Brian Taylor. Landed heavily. It was one of those where he went up in the air and landed heavily on his side. Always nasty knocks. He's sitting up now, which is positive sign. A couple of Ware players take a drink. The physio's hovering around about the technical area, but I don't think McCollin's going to need treatment. I think he's just taking the opportunity to have a sit down and stretch, which is, I think, what's going to happen. As Quincy Rowe pulls him to his feet, smiles between the pair of them. But experienced campaigner Quincy Rowe, of course, as Max M. Fraser will restart the game with the throw in for Ware right in front of us here at Watson Park as we sit one from the back of the main stand. Fraser down the line looking for Lee Rose. McLaren's all over the back of him. Lee Rose once again turns around, asking questions of the linesman. Scott Day collects it here. Lewis Rose does well. Watkins again. Rose down the line. Here's Lee Rose. Not too much to aim at in the box, but Lee Rose does well. Shifts it onto the left foot. Here's Harry Watkins. Watkins does well. Good control. Finds McCollin. Oh dear. Well, into the trees behind the goal. Sliced off the left boot. And referee signals for a new ball. First time really since the goal almost that Ware have got away down this right hand side. Good run by Lee Rose, and in the end though it was McCollin who tried the shot. He's still flexing his left leg. This will be subject to a bit of treatment at half time, you feel. Rose goes up with Scott Day. The ball doesn't go out on this near side. Fraser does well, finds Harry Watkins. Watkins is beaten to it. Baxter turns away. He's on the edge of the area. He's the dangerous man. Baxter finds Hippolyte. Hippolyte can't control it, and Lee Rose will have it. He's got Taylor who's back and does well to cannon it off the fullback and out for a throw-in to Ware. 4 minutes to go before the break at Watson Park. A couple of people in front of me fancy beating the queue to the tea hut. Maybe they fancy a kebab. I don't know whether they were on the go this afternoon. I think Bovril is the order of the day personally, but here's Lewis Rose. Down the line, Max M. Fraser off the back of Scott Day. That was a little bit of a lucky ricochet. Here's Hippolyte. And in the end, the ball goes out. It's a Ware throw-in. Lewis Rose got to be careful. He did lunge in there on Hippolyte. No guard shown so far by a referee, but Lewis Rose was the closest to getting one without a shadow of a doubt. But he will take the throw on this near side over Lee Rose's head. Finds McCollin. McCollin away from Quincy Rowe. Again, nothing down the left for Ware. Adamson was on his heels and controls the ball back for Dan Rumans. Rumans chips it down the left-hand side, but Liam Hope's run will not pick that ball up because that ball will go out for a throw-in to Chertsey. Not sure which man will be the happiest at half-time. Paul Halsey will be happy with the lead, but I don't think he'll be too happy with the performance because despite going in front early, Ware have failed to press their advantage here. It's down the line. Lee Rose manages to get the header. Baxter's beaten to it by Kendall. It's Scott Day who tries to control it at the halfway line, beaten by Adamson. It's Bruno. Bruno spoils a good one, sends Liam Hope going down the left-hand side. But Adamson this time has made his way into the box. Liam, though, looking for an option, can't find one, finds Harry Watkins. Watkins will bring in Tom Bruno. He'll let it go for Max M. Fraser. Fraser's cross to the far post. There's Liam Hope coming in, heads it back for Adamson, but in the end couldn't get any power. And it lands comfortably for Gordon. It's Sam Murphy over on the left-hand side this time. It's Taylor's ball finds Scott Day. Day once again delays on the ball and sends Jackson backwards on that far side. Jackson long ball down the right-hand side. Hippolyte making life difficult for Dan Rumans, who has to give the corner away in the end. A little bit of miscommunication between centre-back and goalkeeper there. Last minute and a half at Watson Park as the cage prepares itself for the arrival of the players and their half-time cuppa. But Ware have got defending to be done here. Corner to be taken on that far side. Collins forward on the halfway line. Liam Hope coming back towards his own goal. Harry Watkins, well, they were looking at a short corner, but in the end it's headed out very easily by Lee Rose, and that's going to be it from the referee, who decided he didn't want to add too much on. at the end of the first half, which saw Ware go in front after 7 minutes. Tom Bruno's ball headed down by Lee Rose and swept home by Andre McCollin for his first goal in a Ware shirt. The only other significant goalmouth opportunity came at the other end a couple of minutes later when Callum Kitchker saved well with his feet from Jonathan Hippolyte. 1-0 here at a half-time. We'll have full live commentary of the second half on 90 Minutes Live. But for now, I'll leave you with a half-time score that reads Ware 1, Chertsey Town 0.